We're in South Florida, WWE SmackDown in town. Once again, the South Florida fans, they love their WWE. And I'll tell you what else they love. They love this man. Look at this. He is the king of swing. He is the Swiss Superman, and he also is the professional. He has the Cesaro Section.
That's right.
And that's a big thing. That's on the rise. It's growing every day. So Cesaro, thank you so much. I'll start with this. How does someone born in Lucerne, Switzerland become a professional wrestler?
Good question. How much time do we have on this? I was a fan growing up, and as a kid, WWE came on TV when I was maybe 12 or 13 years old, and I think kids just gravitate towards WWE because it's kind of like a cartoon, kind of like a movie, but it's real, as in you can go and see those guys, and those guys actually exist. It's not fictional character. And when I had a chance to actually train wrestling when I was 19, I was like, yeah, of course I want to try that, because I played sports all my life, and I was like, oh, I want to try that. And I had my first match when I was 20 years old, and just fell in love and moved to the United States. Started wrestling, all over the United States and everywhere in Europe.
But how do you find somewhere in Switzerland to wrestle?
Luck. There was
because it's not like America where you can go a bunch of different places.
It's not popular. It's still on the rise there. It's very, very little. I found there was a wrestling club in Zurich. I found it on the internet, and I was like, oh, what is that? And then it was just a bunch of guys that founded the club so they can rent a local gym for a bit. And I met the guy that actually trained in the United States before with Dory Funk Jr. in Florida, and he taught me some of the basics and invited me to go with him to Germany to actually train in the ring. And ever since then, that's what I've been doing.
What was it like for you when you did come over to America and just getting acclimated to this country?
Oh, it was so much different. I was like, first I came over here and I lived in the outskirts of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I was like, yeah, in Switzerland everything has public transportation, or you take your bike anywhere, or you can walk places. And over here I pretty much found out after a day that you can't go anywhere without a car. I took the bike to the gym once, and it took me like an hour and 15 minutes to get there, and an hour and a half to get back. So it was a big culture shock when I moved over here first. Yeah.
What inspired the business suit? This is a big thing right now. You are the professional, and everything about you is professional.
Yes, it was just something that kind of almost happened organically. I've had so many changes over the WWE career. I went from playing the rugby to yodeling to the real American. And then I felt me and Tyson had the closest to what is me, and it was phenomenal. We were kicking ass, and then I was kind of, again, thrown in that lull of like, okay, you had something that was really good, and now you have to restart again. And I was just thinking back on my basics, and when I first started, I wore a suit in the ring. Actually, I was Swiss money holding, a guy from Switzerland that just started as a banker, right? So, I was kind of like looking at me, and like I always dress like that before interviews and anything, because I think it's important to look professional. The conductors have professional, and that's what I always approach my work with. That's why I think I'm very focused on my in-ring work, and I think that's what I excel at, and just approach it with seriousness. And then I was like, all right, I got hurt, and I constructed my suit that I wear on the entrances now, and I'm like, this is perfect. It's 00 Cesaro becoming the Swiss Superman, and it's just fun. And I was like, it's been great.
Where do you get the suits?
They're custom made.
Ah, they are custom made. Nice.
Custom made. Actually, all my suits are custom made. So yeah, that's right.
This is like a GQ look.
Well, it is, yeah. So it's very, because to me it was always, okay, so you see Cesaro in the street, and then he walks in the arena, rips the suit off, and he's ready to go. That's always ready for action.
That's the thing too, because it's James Bond, also like a superhero type of thing, because you're the Superman, because you're taking him.
James Bond is a superhero if you look at it. It's just, and to me that's the connection between you seeing me here now and you see me in the arena. Now it's time for business, and business is great.
Talk about James Bond, because you're a big fan of the James Bond movies.
James Bond.
What did you like about James Bond, and just doing this now, add to it, doing this persona?
What I liked about James Bond, well, first, I I'm trying to think of my first James Bond, but it's a world when you're a kid and you watch James Bond, there's so much, like there's the travel, there's the exotic locations, it's the action, you know, it's I mean, when you're young, there's the girls, you know what I mean? Like, there's the exciting location. He has a cool job. He travels everywhere in the world. He's always in danger. He's
the gadgets.
He's cool. He has gadgets. He, you know, like dresses nice. He gets to go everywhere. He sees the exciting locations, and it's kind of like what I'm doing now. I'm seeing exotic locations. I travel. I look great, you know, and I have a cool job. So, as you know, and then James Bond had this amazing wit, of course, the James Bond wit, which I'm a huge fan of. I'm a big fan of bad puns and all that kind of stuff. So he had some of the best puns, and I think Roger Moore has the best James Bond puns ever. But again, every James Bond is good for a different reason.
I was going to ask you, but I think you answered it, who your favorite James Bond is.
See, it's so hard to pick because obviously Sean Connery is the first Bond. He set the standard, and then you know, Sean Connery is just gave it this. He can deliver the lines with this smirk and this look on his face that is just absolutely priceless. You know, Timothy Dalton, I think, was ahead of his time as far as he had that grittier Bond, that almost a Daniel Craig-esque Bond, but I think it was almost a little bit too far ahead of its time. If you look at it, George Lazenby was, you know, he was actually an interesting Bond. If you look at it, it was almost shot in one location. It was all in the mountains there, so that was a good one. And then you have, of course, you know, Pierce Brosnan, who brought Bond to complete sci-fi there towards the end, where they kind of had to take a step back with Daniel Craig, and I think I got all of them.
Now I'm going to ask you the other part of that is, does Cesaro have a favorite James Bond girl?
Good question. Well, okay, so I would have to. What's her name? I don't have to go look it up. And this is purely.
Do you remember which movie it was?
Yes, purely. It's obviously the first James Bond movie. It should be Dr. No. First Bond girl is a Swiss Bond girl, right? What's her name?
Now the only one I remember is Octopussy.
Of course, yeah. I'm here on my phone. I'm going to go look it up. Right
very
now.
Good. Well, I have this.
Because I need to know the name. But just because she's Swiss, there's been a great job casting completely different women and exotic women from all over the world, and also, to be fair, it became probably a big part. Ursula Andress, there we go, Ursula Andress, Swiss Bond girl. It's my manager over here.
Yes, it indeed.
It became a big part of that. First they may start off as eye candy, but they became quite essential part of the storylines and the plot, and they became like action heroes themselves, and I think Bond was ahead of its time in that aspect.
How cool is it too, when you come out, even the background on the big Titantron, Jumbotron,
yeah.
It has that James Bond look to it as well.
Yeah.
How much input do you have in that, and how cool is it when they do things like that?
It's super cool. When I first came back, I didn't tell anybody that I have a terrorist suit. I told the cameraman that I'm going to come out from the side, which is something that I scouted myself and just didn't tell anybody either. And then the next day I kind of asked them if they can kind of like add something to the Titantron that moves when I walk. And a week later they had the look that we have now, and I was like, this is pretty sweet. I'll take that. And it's constantly expanding too, because I'm always trying to find new nuances to the character and to me, and just to make the experience for the viewer at home better.
The fans love it. And another thing that's really big is the Cesaro Section.
Yes.
How has that come about? Was that just something the crowd started, or was that?
Yeah, that's something that the crowd started 100%. It started in Nashville, and it grew from there. It was just something that the fans, they liked what I do, they appreciated it. I always say, like, I'm not the chosen one from maybe the company standpoint, but the fans chose me, and that's very important to me, and that means so much to me. When I was doubting myself, I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Should I maybe, I don't know, like change stuff up of the way I do it or whatever? And they were like right there in Star Section Designs proving me, no, what you do is right, we believe in you. Keep working hard, keep your nose to the grindstone, and we'll support you. And that support means so much to me. That support made me do rehab 2.5 to 3 hours a day, twice a day, on my birthday, on Christmas, on Thanksgiving, on New Year's Day, on New Year's morning, and so on. So just to get back in the ring better than ever, to stand in front of the Cesaro section, and that's something that's, to me, you don't have to buy anything, you don't have to, all you do is you print out a sign and you hold it up, and it shows your support, and that's near and dear to my heart.